Oh, you can stop if you can't get through the music.
Yes, I stopped it already.
Uh,
Okay. Good evening, everyone. A warm welcome to all of you. Today, our topic is making your mind your best friend. And to do justice to this topic, we couldn't have asked for anybody better but Sister Meera. So, your mind can be your best friend or your worst enemy. The thoughts in your head can give you the stuff you need to go after and be successful, the profession of your dreams, maintain loving and healthy relationships, and be pretty happy and optimistic on most days. But on the other hand, your mind can mercilessly criticize and ridicule your every move, hold you back from going after whatever you really want in life. Sister Meera doesn't need any introduction. All of you know her very well. However, for those of you who have joined for the first time today, I'll just give a little background of Sister Meera. Sister Meera has researched intensively over a span of more than 50 years into the subject mind, matter, relations, and spiritual empowerment. She has dedicated her life to world service, traveling extensively to more than 50 countries, delivering thought provoking lectures to thousands of people on subjects related to self development, mastery of time and life, stress free living, and many others. So let us all extend our warm welcome to Sister Meera, who is joining us from Malaysia, Kuala Lumpur to be specific, today, this evening. Good evening, Sister Meera.
Thank you, Jabin. Om Shanti and good evening to all of you. Um, and special greetings for the year 2021. Hmm. I hope you are enjoying this new year since it has begun. And I'm sure, you will continue to experience the same as you go along because it is always said you become what you think. Somebody asked me the question, how this year is going to be. I said, however you want it to be. Because, it is in your hand to create what you want. So you are the creator. So if you want to have happiness this year, so that will come to you. So you are the creator. So what I was thinking to do is to just ask you a simple question which you can ask yourself also. Um, who is the most important person in your life? Ask yourself, who is the most important person in your life? I'm sure most of us would get this answer from deep within. It's me, right? It's myself. I am the most important person in my life for myself. That is great. And that is very important to realize. But the next step is okay, if you consider yourself to be the most important person in your life, do you ever make an appointment to meet with yourself at any time during the day? Because in a way, I would say that we become the VIP of our life. Important person, very important person. And very important people are always met with an appointment. You can't just meet them just like that. So I am also the most important person in my life. So I must make an appointment to meet myself. How many of you do that? Make an appointment to meet with yourself. we always put it as the last agenda in our life. Is that true or not? We want to give priority to all other things first, and if we find time, then we will see. But I think it is very important that we give the first agenda, we keep it as the first agenda in our life, to make an appointment with ourselves, to have a dialogue with ourselves the first thing in the morning. Why I say that is because when you meet with yourself and have a dialogue with yourself, you come closer to yourself. Is that true or not? See, when you meet a person, when you have dialogue with them, then you get to know them better. So you come closer to us. We come closer to ourselves. And so the more we get to know ourselves, the more we come closer to ourselves, the more we enjoy our company. We don't have to look out for some company outside to make us happy or entertain us. But what has happened today in our life is that we have become stranger to ourselves. We don't know ourselves so much, but other people know more about me than myself. And so when people pass certain comments and certain situation comes in our life, we cannot tolerate those things. We get upset, we get disturbed with those kind of comments. But the reason is that if I had given time to myself, I get to know myself, my weaknesses, and my strength, then I will not react or I will not get upset when some people pass any comments about me, because I can be myself in the midst of other people also, isn't it? See, what happens in life is, because we don't spend enough time with ourselves, because we have become strangers, it is like we have given the remote of our life in other people's hands. And as a result of that, we are happy when people are happy, where we feel upset when they don't do the way we want them to be. And so I think it is very, very important to get to know myself very well. So when I talk about getting to know myself, what I mean is the true self. Of course, if you ask anybody today to give their introduction, they may, who are you or who am I? They may talk about their name, their occupation, their age, their qualification, their specialities. Of course, we all know those things about ourselves. But when I talk about not knowing myself, is to know my true self. Who am I really? Am I this name? Am I this age? Am I the occupation I hold? No, these are all labels attached to myself. I am not any of those. So, the first step towards making my mind my best friend is to get to know myself, who I am really. So you have to really analyze yourself to understand who you are really. Am I only this identity which I speak about myself? Is there anything more than that? And you will soon discover that there is another layer within each one of us. You will find there are feelings, there are emotions, there are thoughts, there are memories. So all these subtle aspects that which are deep within us is contained within a little point of life energy, what we call soul. So the soul is a combination of mind, intellect, and subconsciousness. Mind is thinking, desires, feeling, emotions. intellect is a power of judgment, and subconscious mind is actually power of action. So when I begin to understand myself more than what I see with my eyes, and I begin to see myself as that beautiful being of sparkling light, which has these three faculties: thinking, judging, and acting, then I am able to understand how to make myself my friend. Because the most important aspect of human life is the mind. Because if you are able to master your mind, if you are able to master your thoughts, if you are able to conquer your mind, you have conquered the whole world. But then I need to understand the connection between I, the soul, and the mind, how they are related. Otherwise, sometimes instead of making my mind my best friend, I can make my mind my worst enemy. Many people, in the name of making their mind their friend, they try to suppress the mind, they try to beat their mind, they try to curse their mind, because they feel that it is the mind which is responsible for causing all this peacelessness in life. In fact, I am okay. It's because of the mind. If I have this kind of understanding, then it is known that I am separating the mind from the soul. When we look at the mind as a separate entity from the soul, I can say these things to my mind, that you are mischievous, you are chanchal, you are wandering. But if I begin to understand mind is an aspect of I, the soul, when I am thinking, that is called mind, the power of thought. So the power of thoughts, the power of thinking is called mind. The power of judgment is called intellect. So what it means to make my mind my best friend means to be able to use the power of my mind the way I want to use it, in a positive way, to channelize the energy of my mind in the direction of my choice. See, let us look at mind as a horse. No, intellect as a horse rider. Now, of course, I want to, control my mind. I am the intellect as a horse rider sitting on the horse. But what is missing in my life that does not allow me to control my mind, that does not allow me to channelize the energy of my mind, is I have lost the reins of the horse. When the horse rider doesn't hold the reins in his hand, so the horse is riding him. He is not riding the horse. And this is what is happening in our life today. The reins in the form of self awareness, that I am a soul, is missing in our life. And we have allowed our mind to rule us over a long period of time. And so now we begin to realize that how much loss we have experienced for allowing the mind that much freedom. It has taken us wherever we want, and then after the incident is over, there is a kind of regret. And so the first step towards making my mind my best friend is to introduce to myself that I am not just this body, I am a soul, I am a living light with mind, intellect, and sanskara. So, mind is my faculty. It is my mind. Just like it is my hand, I can lift my hand, I can put down my hand as I wish. So, I should be able to use the mind the way I want to use. And so, when I'm able to have that mastery over my mind, I can say I have made my mind my best friend. Then no matter what other people are saying, whatever situation is happening around, I can remain stable because I know myself and I know how to channelize the energy of my mind in the right direction. So the first awareness I need to introduce to myself is I am a soul, a living light separate from this body. So once I understand my mind is the power of thinking, the next step is there are many types of thoughts in the mind. You know, if you look at the mind, they say we are thinking so much that anything up to 50,000 thoughts per day. So fast the mind is thinking. And so, if you have to tame your mind, if you want to make your mind your best friend, you have to teach your mind to think less, think positive, and think slowly. How do we do that? Hmm? I have to handle my mind with care, just like you will handle your friend, because your mind is your friend. So you have to talk to your mind, you have to have a dialogue with your mind, and you have to convince your mind. Because some people think that, to make my mind my friend means to use the authority to suppress it. But in that way, I cannot, use the power of the mind in a proper way. And so there are, if you want to know exactly, there are four types of thoughts that are constantly running on the screen of our mind. One is called necessary thoughts, unnecessary thoughts, positive thoughts, and negative thoughts. So you cannot avoid them. Mind is the power of thinking and it is constantly thinking. And so, one thing I should not forget is I have a choice to choose which kind of thoughts I want to use in my life. So, that choice is always available. To make your mind your best friend, you must remember you have a choice to choose the type of thoughts you want to use in your life. And so, we know that the best type of thought that would help me to make me feel good with myself is positive thoughts, isn't it? So I have to choose positive thinking as the basis of my life, foundation of my life. And so it's a gift that I give to myself. When I am able to think positive about myself, about situation, about people around me, I have created friendship with everyone. I have accepted everyone, I appreciate everyone. So everyone feels friendly with me, and I am also feeling that good vibrations. So that is why you find that a person who always thinks positive, they emit such light vibrations. Even people who come in contact with them begin to feel that lightness. And so the second step is to teach myself to think positive, because without teaching my mind to think positive, I cannot make my mind cooperate with me. Now the question is, what is positive thinking? It is not just like things are going wrong around us and we keep mentioning, okay, everything is fine. That is not positive thinking. Positive thinking means three things. So one is, thinking is, see, you underline this point, thoughts are inevitable, but thinking is optional. You cannot stop thinking, but you have an option to choose which type of thoughts you can think. According to that, either you react or you respond. So, one of the meaning of positive thinking is to look at every situation that comes in front of you as a challenge and not as a problem. Because when we look at it as a challenge, we are able to, gather the energy that we have within ourselves to overcome the situation. Second, positive thinking means to be able to convert every difficulty as an opportunity. No, it is every difficulty is an opportunity. Because if difficulty don't come in our life at all, how do I know that I have energy within myself? And the third aspect of positive thinking is to be actually, to respond to people and not to react. Because reaction is emotional. That is a sign of being a slave to my mind. But responding is being wise. Because when you respond, you think before you act. And that is why there is no regret. Now, in this aspect of positive thinking, I have to look at one important aspect. So, how can I, not react, be emotional in situation, and complain that people are responsible for what is happening to me? Actually, nobody is responsible for what is happening to me around. Like simple example I give you, you have come to this lecture. Suppose it was in a hall. It was announced already, please turn off your handphones before the talk. But still, some people did not. So while the talk was going on, the phone was ringing. But they are not stopping the phone. So you are getting irritated. You are reacting sitting there, thinking why these people don't listen to the announcement properly, why they are not turning off the phone, why they have to behave. Now, there are 1,000 people in the hall. Not everybody is reacting like that. There are a few people who may be reacting that way. That was your choice, isn't it? If you make your mind your best friend, so you will not get irritated, you will not react, but you will remain quiet because, everybody has their own way of life. So you cannot push somebody to do something forcefully. So in that, like that, many situations happens in our life. Sometimes we say, oh, I was so happy sitting in my living room enjoying music. Suddenly this person came and said something to me, I got so upset. Now it's your choice whether you want to get upset or whether you want to remain set in your seat. So if you have made your mind your best friend, you try to understand the situation and respond to them with patience. So this is why it is very important when thought comes in the screen of our mind, what we need to make sure is our intellect is awake. Many of the time our intellect is sleeping, and that is why the power of discerning don't work immediately. It works little bit later, and that is why we are regretting in many situations, wasting a lot of time. So making my mind my best friend means not to have no regret in action that I perform. I think before I act. I think before I speak. So I don't have any regret. So in order to experience that stage, I have to keep my intellect awake. So the intellect is awake only when you are aware you are a soul. When I am body conscious, when I'm identifying myself as a man or a woman or an intelligent person or a wealthy person, boss, so when I have that body consciousness, my intellect is asleep. So I will behave under the influence of the negative traits connected with body consciousness, like anger, jealousy, ego. And so it hurts me and it hurts others. But when you are aware of yourself as a soul, then the qualities of the soul, which is peace and love and mercy, patience, emerge from deep within. And so you don't get upset, you don't react. So, this is very important for us to make our mind our best friend. We have to listen to our conscience very often, not just be emotional, you know, just we feel like saying something, we just said it, but we did not think about the effect of those on the other person. But then, when you are actually friendly to yourself, when you love yourself, you make sure that you listen to your conscience and allow your conscience to dictate your mind, your intellect. So, your power of discerning will be accurate. And so, the second step is to make sure you teach yourself the art of positive thinking so that you develop an optimistic attitude to life, not pessimist. Someone who is a friend to themselves, they will not, give sorrow to themselves. To be a pessimist is like giving sorrow, making myself feel low self-esteem. A pessimist always think low about themselves. But because when I am an optimist, I see the bright side of everything, because everything that we face in our life has two sides, a bright side and a dark side. It's your choice. And so when I develop that attitude of optimism, and then I also keep the company of people who are optimistic in their attitude, it helps me to maintain that friendship with myself. So I won't give sorrow to myself when I am friend to myself. So that is an important aspect. So the third step is, as I said, to keep your intellect awakened so that you can listen to your conscience very often and you don't have any more regret, so that you feel sad after you have performed the action. And the fourth thing that is very important to make my mind my best friend is actually, we say mind your own business. They say that when you mind other people's business too much, your business will go bankrupt. And that is what is happening today. We are becoming bankrupt spiritually, minding other people's business too much. It is not selfish, because some people always tell me, but you say mind your own business, what does it mean? Is it not selfish? It is not selfish, because I should not interfere in other people's life affairs without necessity. So, if you look at your thoughts during the whole day today, how many thoughts you have about yourself? How many thoughts you have about other people? Waste thought. I think more of the thoughts about other people than myself. Yes, once I am able to help myself, then only I am able to help others. So let me teach myself to look after my mind, handle my mind with care, gently, so that my mind cooperates with me. While minding other people's business, I have neglected my mind. And of course, one of the practices I have been experimenting in the past so many years is to, become introvert and spend some time in meditation. Because when I am meditating, I am actually energizing myself. I am empowering myself so that I am preparing myself to face life with courage. And so it is very important for us to practice this exercise to make our mind our best friend at least 10 minutes twice a day. We practice meditation so that we are able to gently, slowly train our mind, discipline our mind, so that the mind becomes our, obedient servant to do what we want the mind to do. Because it takes time to train the mind. So, meditation is one of the practices that helps us to train the mind, to discipline the mind, to be able to channelize the energy of the mind in the right direction. So this can be done in the beginning of the day and at the end of the day. So what is more important thing is that, I should feel myself great no matter what is happening outside. See, because today our state of mind is based on other people and other situations from external outside, we get affected very easily. So we need to become more sensible than being sensitive. And so the more I am introvert, I attain mastery over my sense organs. So when I have conquered my sense organs, I am sensible. So I am able to use my sense organs with authority. So then the switch of the sense organs are in my hand. I can use them the way I wish. But today, what is happening? Sometimes, without asking, we just give comments about other people. Without necessity, we overhear two people talking and we get upset over little things. It may not be necessary. And so, once I have attained mastery over my sense organs, after attaining mastery over my mind, if I am able to attain mastery over my sense organs, when the sense organs are under my control, I feel that I am able to keep that peace within myself. See, what is very important is peace, love, happiness is inside story. Nobody can take away these values unless you have given them license to do. I can't complain saying, this person took away my happiness or this person took away my peace of mind. No, because I have forgotten myself who I am while I'm interacting with others, performing action, I come under the influence of ignorance. When we come under the influence of ignorance, which is body consciousness, naturally we are influenced by the negativities of the body, like anger, greed, jealousy, ego. And so then we have actually become our own slave, not our mind. We have become our own enemy. That is why it is said that you are your own enemy and you are your own friend. You bless yourself or you curse yourself. Nobody blesses you or nobody curses you. It is just the saying, somebody bless me or somebody curse me. See, when you know that you have a certain speciality and you make use of that speciality to bring benefit to yourself and others, so you are the friend of yourself and friend of others. But when you know that you have some defect and in spite of knowing you still use that in action, I become my own enemy. That means I curse myself. So it all begins within myself. It's all inside me, how I treat myself. So if I have mastered my emotions, my feelings, my thoughts, then I am not able to become a victim to, when other people talk about me or other people say anything. So they cannot pull me around wherever they want. So I have the power to discern, I have the power to perform action. So I will attain that mastery over myself. And I find meditation practice every day over a long period of time allows you to enjoy your own company. Sometimes people find, being introvert is like just being isolated. But in fact, it is not isolation, it is solitude. You need that solitude to look deep into yourself, to understand who you are really, without anybody telling you anything. So I think during this COVID-19 time, we have got lot of time in solitude. People call it as isolation, but I call it as solitude because it gives us opportunity to look deep into yourself, and what are the weaknesses I have, what are the specialities I have, and how I can remove those weaknesses so that I can be of some use to others. How can I use these specialities that I have in my life as gift from God so that I can uplift other people's life? So in a way, it helps us to develop self-esteem. So in order to make your mind your best friend, you need to enhance your self-esteem. When I don't have self esteem, either I suffer from superiority complex, or I suffer from inferiority complex, then I cannot be my own best friend. Either I underestimate myself or I overestimate myself. And so it is important to develop that self esteem. And what it means to have self esteem is to evaluate myself both negatively and positively, so that I am able to be what I am. Because no human being is perfect today, isn't it? Everybody has one defect or the other, but everybody has one virtue or the other. Even if somebody has 99 weaknesses, but there is one good virtue they have. And so I am able to recognize my weaknesses, so I have humility, but I also recognize my speciality, so I have that positive attitude towards myself. So I appreciate myself, I accept myself, I love myself unconditionally. That is what it means to be my friend. I should be able to accept myself, I should be able to appreciate myself, I should be able to love myself unconditionally. I don't need to be waiting for somebody to say to me, I love you. But I should know that I am able to love myself. I am able to respect myself. I don't need to wait for somebody to give, their opinion about something when I know it already. So in that way, we don't become dependent on other people. And when I don't become dependent on other people, I don't have any complaint about them, because today we are depending on each other to make somebody make me happy. If we have certain expectation that if they behave in such a way, then I will be happy. If the children behave in such a way, the parents are happy, or the students behave in such a way, the teacher will be happy. So the expectation will bring disappointment. So if I want to be my friend, I just need to understand this whole world is like a drama stage, and each one is an actor playing their own part, and each one's part is accurate, and there is no comparison. One person cannot be compared with the other. And so I am able to, with this understanding that the whole world is like a drama, I am able to love myself in a way that I can play roles at the same time. I can be a director, I can be an actor, and I can also be an observer. So I won't be affected. And so, when we are in that kind of positive attitude, you attract people of your kind towards yourself. So if somebody is all the time emitting negative vibration, it actually repels people. So, in a way, if you want to be your own friend, prepare to take risks, responsibility in your life. Try to do something new in your life, adventurous, you know. So then you develop your self esteem, you begin to love yourself, you begin to admire yourself, appreciate yourself, not always waiting for the people to give you comments about what you are, you know. So sometimes you may get good words, and sometimes maybe insult or defamation, so that could affect my stage. So it is this main aspect, knowing myself who I am. No, make it opens up the doorway to make our mind our best friend. As long as this is not understood, it is like the door is locked. No matter how much you try superficially to make your mind your friend, it's not possible, because I need to first of all understand who am I, you know. And also it's an exercise, that who am I, whose child am I, where I have come from, and why I am here. Once I am able to understand answers for these four questions, it makes it even more easier for me to come close to myself. So in that way, I enjoy myself. So what I would like to suggest to all of you is three rules or disciplines, whatever you want to call it, that you can follow to make sure that you make your mind your best friend. So, the first thing is, always begin your day. When you wake up in the morning, begin your day with one positive, affirmative thought, and spend the first 10 minutes, pondering over that thought. That is your real friendship. You empower yourself to begin your day in the morning. Every day, the first thing, no matter whatever time you wake up, and of course, it is always better to wake up a little bit earlier than normal. And then the second thing is actually to stop 1 minute every hour to energize myself again, empower myself by reminding myself of the positive thought I have begun my day with. And then lastly, before going to bed, it's very, very important. If I want to be my friend, don't carry today for tomorrow. So roll the scroll of the day by sitting with God, giving whatever has happened, good things, bad things, talk to God, give all the accounts to God, empty yourself totally, and, say last thought, good night to God. Because if you carry today for tomorrow, another day will be spoiled. So if you can practice these three rules, these three disciplines, we can call it, I'm sure we will be able to come so close to ourselves that first of all, we become our friend. When I am friend to myself, God becomes my friend. That's why they say when you smile, the whole world smiles with you. When you cry, you have to cry alone. So when I become my friend, when God becomes my friend, the whole world becomes my friend. And so I don't have anything lacking in my life. So, first thing, charity begins at home. Work on yourself. And secondly, try to make God your friend. And then automatically the whole world begins to be friendly with you, and you can embrace the whole world as one family. That is the sign of friendship. You embrace the whole world as one family. And so, what will happen? All the walls that we have built will be broken down and we build bridges. Love works like bridges. And so, we can love in this world without fear. We can love in this world without war and bloodshed. So, let us make our dream come true to make this world one family by first of all loving ourselves, uh, being friendly to ourselves, then make God our friend and embrace the whole world as our family friend by seeing each one as a living light which is positive and pure and loving in its original nature. So I leave you with these thoughts now. And so you can try some of these and experiment this on your life and see how it works. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sister. I think how you began with that we need to spend time with ourselves, that was very beautiful, because to make friends or to make a best friend, what we need to do is spend time with that person. And that is exactly what we need to do, to spend time with our mind, talk to our mind, have a dialogue. And lastly, the 3 points or the discipline or the rules, as you mentioned, is that to start the morning with a few minutes of meditation and then pausing every minute to regain that power within us, and closing the book like we do in the offices or anywhere. We close the book, closing the book before we go to sleep and saying good night to God. I think that is beautiful. If you could lead us to a 1 minute meditation, which we can practice during the day, like you said, every minute.
You want to do it now or after question answer?
I think if it's possible to do it now, then we can do the question and answer after this.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Is sit relaxed and turn your mind within. I become aware of myself as a living light, sparkling in the center of my forehead. I am light, radiating light to my whole body. I, the being light, I am the master of this body, mind, intellect, and sanskaras, or my faculties. When I'm aware of myself as a soul, all these 3 faculties come together. I am at peace with myself. When I am at peace with myself, I radiate peace all around. Others can also feel the vibrations of peace. I am peace, the child of the ocean of peace, and I am the resident of the land of peace, and I radiate peace through my whole being. Om Shanti.
Thank you, sister. We have a few questions here. How do I become mindful in the middle of an argument?
See, argument is due to somebody want to prove their ego, right? That they are better than you. And so I think the best way to respond to that ego, false ego, is to remain humble, At that time, if I can just listen with patience what they want to say and not react to them, because this is how argument get heated up. two, ego, two egos clash, right? And so when I am able to have the humility to listen to that person, and when that person finishes speaking, you have already have mindfulness to pay attention to listen to them, then you can say, can I say something now? So in a very peaceful, humble way, you can say just few words, and that is already a signal for the other person. Hmm. They know how mindful you are, and what all the things that they have said is waste of time for them. They will realize, but I don't need to say that, you know but two hands clap. So always to remember, when someone is in that kind of argumentative mood, I should be an observer. I should not be affected by the tone, the words, whatever they spoke, but I should listen with patience and then come in with few words. So you show that humanity there, respect for them.
I think also added to what you said earlier, you choose whether you want to respond or you want to
Yeah,
react.
yeah. Because like suppose if they are saying something and I am, my ego also is my ego is also activated. I can't wait. Because when the ego is activated, I also want to prove that I am no less, and that again activates their ego. And so the ego clash goes on, and sometimes it can end up in fight also. So it is not a good thing.
Okay. Our next question is, I think about my problems when I meditate. What must I do?
What problem?
I think about my problems when I meditate. What must I do?
I think you must have patience when you learn meditation. You won't master meditation in a day or two. You know, you need to be kind to your mind. You have allowed your mind to move like a wild horse for so long time, and now you suddenly hold the rein. It may not obey you. So you have to have patience. In the beginning, these things will come. What happened yesterday, what happened tomorrow, what will happen, some fear, some doubts, things will come. But what you need to do is to ignore those thoughts. Don't get carried away by those thoughts, and you continue with the meditative thoughts that you have learned. So over a period of time, these kind of thoughts will lose its power. Mhm. And they will disappear. But if I do it by force, they keep coming back again and again. Like once I was told by a disciple went to a monk, telling him that, sir, whenever I meditate, I cannot forget the monkey. Always a monkey comes in front of me. So he said, don't think of the monkey. So now, because he told him not to think of the monkey, he only thought of monkey and nothing else in the meditation. So why I'm saying this is because when you tell your mind, don't think about something, it will get curiosity to think more of it. So let the problem come, you just don't pay attention, let it pass. You ignore it in a way, don't pay attention. It will lose its power over a time when your mind becomes stronger with meditative thoughts. So we need to have little patience as we learn the practice of meditation to master it.
Next question is it possible to teach kids mindfulness? If yes, please share how should we do so?
I think it all depends. Nowadays, different kids have different capacity. Some kids are so bright nowadays. Even in the age of 3 or 4, I I read the other day a girl of 4 years in Germany or somewhere. She can speak 7 languages. You know. So now kids are so smart. They carry the sanskaras of the past, and so they can learn things very fast. So it's a depend on case to case. You have to look at the children age group, how much they can absorb. So what we do is to teach meditation, mindfulness, like that to children. You use some pictures, drawings, stories, because these things, they can capture their attention. Because if I'm intellectually speaking to them, like you speak to the parents, they may not be able to absorb. So I think case to case, you have to see how much they can absorb, in the form of drawings, in the form of picture, in the form of stories. You can take them into that meditation journey. That is why in Raj Yoga meditation, we have separate books to teach meditation to kids, so that they can be taken step by step.
Yeah, I think another way also is could be that actions speak louder than words. So
Yes,
maybe
yes.
as a parent,
Yeah, of course, if the parents have certain discipline in their life and they are doing something on a regular basis, the children will have question what you are doing, what you are thinking. Then it's an opportunity for you to explain that also. That's also true.
our last question, sister, is it safe for me to keep meditating if every time I meditate, I have severe anxiety and panic?
No, you should keep meditating, because when you meditate, actually what happens is that suppressed subconscious mind emerges. It's nothing wrong. Because subconsciousness is a reservoir of thoughts. And so when I have activated my conscious mind, sometimes certain things I have suppressed in my subconscious mind will emerge. So I should not suppress it, but let it pass. You continue to meditate, because if you suppress anxiety or whatever, it will appear in dreams in a different way, in the form of dreams in your sleep. Mhm. So it is better that I don't suppress my mind, subconscious mind also. I just remain detached observer and let it pass. So I understand, but I don't act according to it. So, but it is there, it is in me. I have to change, but I will find the way later on. But then I don't need to stop meditating, because your continuous meditation will allow you to have the strength to deal with those negative forces.
Okay, that was our last question, sister. So thank you once again for joining us today. Although it was at a very short notice that
Yeah.
we requested you to join and you willingly accepted it. So thank you once again. And thank you everyone for joining us. Hope you have taken a lot from today's session. Maybe it could help to to take up one of the points to make it your resolution of the year as to what to work upon or how to make your mind your best friend this year. So thank you once again for joining us. Our next session will be on coming Saturday. I have dropped my number in the chat box, so do feel free to message me so that I can update you with the upcoming sessions. Thank you once again and have a nice weekend.
Om Shanti.
Om Shanti.